us and welcome. I request that those who have joined us to register, the registration form is already on the chat, so kindly access it and register as we begin. So I will request somebody to lead us with the word of prayer. I can see we have quite a number of attenders. So somebody kindly lead us with the word of prayer, a volunteer. Just raise up your hand. I'm waiting for a volunteer to lead us with the word of prayer. I can see Edith, I can see Henry, I can see John, Joyce, Lillian, Mercy. Kindly one of you to lead us in a word of prayer. I can also see Michael, Machari, and Nancy. Waiting for a volunteer, kindly raise your hand so that you can lead us with the word of prayer that we get started, please. Okay, so who is ready to go?
Maybe you can select from the list.
Okay, so can I request Lucy Mwaura? If you can hear me. Lucy Mwaura, if you can hear me, please. Lucy Mwaura, can you hear me?
Unmute yourself. Maybe she's muted.
Kindly unmute yourself.
She has.
All right.
Unmuted.
Okay, I've just gotten in. I don't know what you want me to do.
All right. I request that you lead us with a word of prayer.
Okay. I'll do it.
All right. Welcome.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, I thank you and glorify your name. I thank you for the good day you have given us, dear Lord. Take all the blessings and honor, dear Lord. As we start our session, dear Lord, be together with us. Guide all our facilitators, dear Lord, and help us to understand what we are going to do the whole day, dear Lord. And after all, we shall not forget to glorify and to honor your name. In Jesus' mighty name, do we pray and believe. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Lucy, for leading us with the word of prayer. Those joining us, kindly register. The registration form is on the chat so that we do that as we continue. So we'd like to know who is in the house. So we have the facilitators, Dr. Gioko, Maina Gioko, Enos, Esther, and Hannington, and Priscilla. Those two will be the facilitators. Then we have these schools. Different schools are supposed to be in this room. So kindly check your school so that you are sure you are in the right place. Then we also have a team from South Africa that is with us. We have Kathy, Maggie, Jackie, Thuli, and Tabisa. And then we also have a team from the Goto Teachers College. So these are the people who are supposed to be in this room, and I welcome you so much as we get started for the session. So I would like to begin with us having a pre-reading review. There is a task that was sent in the Google Classroom, and you are supposed to read the article, an extract from Education to Employment by McKinsey Center, that talks about which important skills are required. And then we also had another one on how should radicalization be tackled by Dr. Brooke Rogers. So these two articles, we're supposed to have read them. And so we want to take a quick quiz regarding these two articles. And so I would like us to go to the link provided on the screen, and it is already in chat. You can access it there. Type that link and we take the quiz. Kindly chat the link and we take the quiz. Hannington, I can see your hand is up.
Yes, Esther.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kindly, if Dr. G is listening, let him not make me a presenter. I may be tempted to move the slides. I can see I'm a presenter.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Noted.
All right, so let's type the link on the screen, and it is also on chat so that we can take that quiz. The link is on chat. It has been posted there. And for the sake of those who are not able to access the chat, we can have it also posted on WhatsApp so that they are also able to access it.
I'm posting on WhatsApp.
Right, thank you.
WhatsApp.
So type in the link and take the quiz. Yeah, so it's there on WhatsApp also. Dr. G, kindly check the responses as we continue.
Yeah, not yet at the moment. Nobody has shared anything. I'm waiting.
Okay.
So we have one person who has written critical thinking and problem solving, imagination and problem solving. Another one is critical thinking, empathy and communication. We have critical job skills. Another response is communication and collaboration, problem solving skills, critical thinking and imagination. And this is the response to the question, according to Education and Employment article, which important skills are required? So we have 5 people.
Okay.
who have received for the first question. So we are still waiting.
Okay. Thank you for those responses. Keep them coming. We have, let's take another 2 minutes or so before we move to the next question. Another 2 or so responses, then we move to the next question.
So
Any
we
more,
have
Dr. G?
we have hands-on communication, collaboration, innovation. We have creativity, citizenship. We have collaboration. Yes. So we can go to the next question.
Okay, so we can go to the next question.
The question is, based on Roger's article, how can we tackle societal change? So
Right. Okay, so based on Roger's article, how can we tackle societal challenges? Let's give our responses. Any responses, Dr. G?
one is saying training. We only have one. It is saying training.
Okay.
The other one is saying taking action and collaborating. We have
Okay.
2.
We're waiting for more responses so that we can continue. On WhatsApp, I think they got the link, so both groups are participating.
Yeah, I can see conflict resolution in WhatsApp.
Okay.
Then you also have involving all stakeholders, the third one. Involving all stakeholders. Then we have by acquiring core competencies. Somebody is saying through communication and collaboration, taking action. Then we have the 6th one, by being empathetic, open, accommodating, and tolerant.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And then we have another one, the 7th one, proper communication.
Okay. Still waiting for more, another 1 minute, then we can continue.
So we have 2 more. There is training, collaboration, communicating in proper manner. And then we have social innovation. We have the 10th one, by taking them positively.
Okay. Okay, another 2, and then we are done with that so that we can move on.
So we have another one, by embracing everybody and involving them through collaboration. Then we have another one, which is communication through sharing the challenges.
Thank you very much for those responses. We appreciate your participation, and it shows that we read. In case anybody didn't, those articles are in the Google Classroom. Kindly make sure that you read them and give your input also in the Google Classroom. So I think we'll stop at that on the Menti so that we can be able to continue. All right, so between Thursday and Friday, we were looking at the core competencies or the core skills. And yesterday, we finished with the last 3, that is communication and collaboration, self-efficacy, and learning to learn. So from today, we will be focusing on critical thinking and problem solving. And during this session or this course, you're going to receive an internationally referenced basic theoretical understanding of critical thinking and problem solving. You'll also be able to explore referenced evidence of how CTPS can be taught and assessed in the classrooms. We'll also be able to receive practical examples of how to develop critical thinking and problem solving in your schools. And we shall also identify within your schools how to develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. And then we shall also develop leadership, project management, and self-evaluation techniques to embed CTPS. So we will be looking at critical thinking and problem solving, and also exploring opportunities to have a project within our schools on the various aspects of critical thinking and problem solving. So we'll begin by the theoretical aspect, and then we shall have practical aspect where we shall model. We shall begin by doing instruction, and then we shall model how to teach. And then with time, you'll also be required to prepare and do a lesson presentation on how to embed the various abilities of critical thinking and problem solving while teaching numeracy and literacy. So when we talk about critical thinking and problem solving, it has a number of guiding principles. And one of them is it should be taught in the context of subject matter. So it means that you cannot have a lesson in isolation on critical thinking and problem solving. It has to be embedded in the teaching of the subject matter. And in this case, we are focusing on numeracy and literacy. The other guiding principle is that critical thinking and problem solving are the student experiences. They offer great ways into complex concepts. So there has to be the student experiences taken into consideration so that they can be able to be involved in the whole process. Then the other major guiding principle is that the teacher has or needs to make CTPS strategies explicit. So this means as you are preparing your lesson plan, you have to bear in mind what CTPS abilities am I going to have in this particular lesson, and you make them explicit. So you have to be very conscious of the CTPS ability and you plan for them. And then the other one is that practice is very critical on the part of the learner. In order to improve learners' CTPS abilities or skills, then they have to be given the opportunity to practice. This means that as teachers, we have to provide those opportunities for learners to be able to practice and practice and practice. So these are the various guiding principles that we need to bear in mind as we get into the critical thinking and problem solving aspect. So I would like now to look at the definition of critical thinking and problem solving. And we'll begin by looking at a classic definition by John Dewey, who says that critical thinking and problem solving is an active, persistent, and careful consideration of a belief or supposed form of knowledge in the light of grounds of which support it and the further conclusions to which it tends. So looking at this definition, I would like you to take some minutes and identify the key features of this definition. I would also like you to try and paraphrase this definition in your own words. What are the key features of this definition? And paraphrase this definition in your own words. We have 3 minutes for that. Kindly make it as one comment so that it doesn't come twice. Input in the chat or in WhatsApp so that we are able to see that. We have 3 minutes for that. Kindly, let's do that.
Every day you use multiple communication channels to talk to your
We have 2 minutes remaining. Let's write our responses on the chat or WhatsApp. Okay, any responses on the WhatsApp?
Not yet. I can't see any.
Okay. Any responses on chat, Enos?
I'm checking.
On chat, we have its use of appropriate age learning material available for correct acquisition of knowledge. We have Lucy Karaoke say critical thinking is intentional and repetitive practice designed by the learner towards a concept taught by the teacher, e.g. how to add.
Okay. Thank you for those responses. So when we look at this definition, there are a number of features that we can be able to identify. And one of them is the aspect of active. It is an active and not passive process. There's also the aspect of persistence and careful, preparation, which is also critical for this CTPS aspect. And the other one is about giving attention to reason. So when we look at this definition by John Dewey, we can be able to pick those key areas, and some of us have been able to paraphrase it in their own language. So we will move on to the next definition, which is by British Council. So we look at a contemporary definition by the British Council, and it says it's self-directed thinking that produces new and innovative ideas and solves problems, reflecting critically on learning, experiences, and processes, and making effective decisions. So again, I would like us to identify the key features of this definition and also try to paraphrase in our own words. Let's take it in 2 minutes, kindly. Thank you. Joyce Kimanga talks of self-driven. Thank you. We're waiting for more responses.
We have one on a system that will enable learners to get many practices.
Okay. Lucy Kariuki says, critical thinking is child-centered, derived from various experiences, designed by the teacher, resulting in different perspectives from the learners. Thank you very much, Lucy. Maybe we can take one or two more and then we continue.
We have Felicia talking about ability to use knowledge.
We also have Florence Wanjiru saying, thinking deeply over an issue to be able to solve a problem. So, thank you very much for those responses. Then we look at another definition. That is a cognitive scientist definition from Daniel Williams. And from this definition, a number of aspects come out. There's the aspect of novelty, there's the aspect of self-direction, there is also the aspect of effectiveness, decisions and problem solving, and making judgments as well as reasoning. So from this cognitive scientist definition, I would like us to identify the key features of this definition and then try to paraphrase the key features in our own words. Let's try to paraphrase the key features in our own words. Let's take about 2 minutes for this.
We have Kathy talking about being able to decide what fact and what is not, and then using the information to solve a problem.
Thank you, Kathy.
We have Rachel saying it is the ability to think critically over an issue or a problem and coming up with a distinctive conclusion.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Then we have Lucy Kariuki saying, in critical thinking, allowing the learner's reasoning time is important to lead to problem solving. Thank you very much, Lucy Kariuki. Anything on WhatsApp?
There is nothing on WhatsApp.
Okay. So maybe we'll take one more and then we continue. Let's keep them coming.
Enson says thinking and getting correct solution.
Okay. Thank you, Ann Benson, for that response. So we have looked at the three different definitions of critical thinking and problem solving, and we can see a number of key features coming out, that it is an active process and not passive, and then the learner has to be greatly involved so that they can be able to make meaning. So we'll now move on and have a look at the various critical thinking and problem solving abilities. And one of them is the aspect of considering different perspectives. The other ability is on evaluating evidence. And the other one is on solving non-routine problems. And finally is about looking for deep structures. So these are the various aspects of critical thinking and problem solving we shall be focusing on, and we'll look at each one of them. So today we shall focus on considering different perspectives. Tomorrow we shall look at another one, and all through we shall be looking at instruction, the modeling, and also the practice, where we will be able to plan how we can teach these various abilities in our lessons. So to develop these features of CTPS, it is important that the following three strategies be practiced. And one of them is asking questions to develop deeper thinking and check for understanding. This is very critical, meaning that questioning is key to development of critical thinking and problem solving. The other aspect is creating a learning environment that supports critical thinking and problem solving. So it is not only enough to ask questions. Is the environment supporting? Is the environment conducive to support CTPS? And the other one is on providing systematic feedback and corrections. So we'll look at what kind of feedback do you provide? Do we provide as teachers to our learners? Does that feedback help them to think critically? Does it unbolt them to be able to think critically on any issues that they are facing? So these three aspects are very crucial if we are to enable our learners develop critical thinking and problem solving. Then we shall look at the various areas of focus. And we have already mentioned about this. So critical thinking and problem solving has these four abilities, right? Considering different perspectives, solving non-routine issues, evaluating evidence, and looking for deeper structures. And we shall look at how do we develop this. And our focus is the teaching of numeracy and literacy, so that we can see how can we enable our learners to be able to develop each of these critical thinking abilities in their different areas. So this will be our focus from now, and as I let Enos pick up so that we are able to see what next. How do we develop the various aspects? Welcome, Enos.
All right. Thank you very much, Esther. Dr. Gioko, if you could upload the presentation. The learning outcomes for today's session will be understanding what it means to consider the different perspectives. That's one important learning outcome that you're expecting, that we need to understand what does it mean to consider different perspectives. The other one is to understand why considering different perspectives is important. So that is the second learning outcome that we are going to have in our session today. And finally, we shall try to understand how can different perspectives be integrated within the lessons that you teach. In your schools, in your lessons, how do we integrate different perspectives? How, in other words, can we be able to teach different perspectives? And so our success criteria, I mean, how will we know that we've been able to achieve our learning outcome? One, we shall participate. Dr. Giok, I'm still expecting you to upload the presentation.
Yeah, it's uploading. It's uploading. Continue.
We shall participate in activities that require exploring different perspectives. So as we are moving on with our sessions, we shall consider different activities that will help us to understand different perspectives. We shall review lessons, modeling different perspectives. We shall present lessons, and then we will review them and see whether they are actually considering different perspectives. And finally, we shall plan and practice different perspectives. So we will model, we will participate in activities, then we will plan and practice. So when you look at, let me just forward the presentation. So there's a picture that I'm waiting for it to upload. Okay. Okay, so there's that picture right there. When you look at the picture, you will see that there are two things happening. We have someone in the boat and we have someone on land. And the land is surrounded with water, the boat is in water. So the man in the boat, or the person in the boat, is excited to see land because he sees he's saving there. But the person on land who is marooned on that little island can see the boat and shout, boat. So you can see these are two different people, two different situations, but both of them are considering or seeing the things in different perspectives. So boat sees land and land sees boat. So what do you think about these two people? Can you just type in your chat, what do you think about the two people? Considering different perspectives. One thing. One thing in your chat. What do you think about them? Okay, so somebody says the picture is not uploaded. Are you able to see the picture?
I can see the picture.
Okay. Okay, so the picture is there. Okay, so she has seen it, thanks. Okay, good. So what do you think about the two people? They are both seeing their salvation in the other perspective, isn't it? There is the boat, the guy on the land sees salvation in the boat, and the guy in the boat sees salvation on the piece of land. So that is what it means considering different perspectives. It's the same thing, but different people will see it in different perspectives. So we are going to look at situations, and I'll give you a minute to consider it. Just 1 minute. Type in the chat or type in the WhatsApp, type in the Teams chat or type in the WhatsApp chat. group chat. What does it mean to consider different perspectives in this situation? Wealthy but hungry. Look at the picture and then look at what it means to consider different perspectives, wealthy but hungry. 1 minute to do that. So somebody says, I think this was for the last question, that two people need each other, hence teamwork has to take place. So the boatman and the landman needed to work together so that they can get their salvation. Good, thank you for that. But I'm asking about what you are seeing on the screen. What does it mean to consider different perspectives? Wealthy but hungry. I know most of us have heard people saying this thing, that the
From
rich
WhatsApp,
people, yes, on WhatsApp, thank you.
somebody says it is paradoxical. It means the wealthy miss something in life.
Yes.
That is by
that
Jeremiah.
The wealthy means miss something in life, yes. Okay, the time is up for that one. But the wealthy means something in life. Okay. How this? Sorry. So the wealthy needs something in life. You've heard people talk about the wealthy not being able to sleep at night, but at the same time, the poor are not able to sleep at night, isn't it? So these are two different perspectives. The wealthy think the poor are sleeping comfortably because they have no problem. The poor think the wealthy are sleeping because they have no problem. Okay, so the second picture, what does it mean to consider different perspectives? Good and bad effects of deforestation. Good and bad effects of deforestation. What does it mean to consider different perspectives in this situation? Good and bad effects of deforestation. You know, logging makes money for our country, but at the same time, we know what deforestation does. So what does considering different perspectives mean in this situation? Let's type in the chat, the group chat, and in the WhatsApp group. We have 48, 47 seconds for that, 45, 44. Please type quickly so that we can move on. In WhatsApp, is there anything? Huntington?
Not yet.
Let me just check.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. I can see in the group chat there's something. We need trees, but at the same time, we need land for farming and building houses. So trees are important. We don't need to destroy our forest, but we also need them to build our houses and furniture and everything. Good. So that is one. In the forest, means pros and cons of deforestation. Means pros and cons of deforestation. In this situation, what does it mean to consider different perspectives? Tasty but unhealthy. Tasty but unhealthy. That is sugary drinks like Coke. What does it mean to consider different perspectives? Let's type quickly before the alarm goes off. If the alarm goes off, we cannot continue. We have to move on. Tasty but unhealthy. Different perspective. The chat, WhatsApp, anything?
Not yet.
Okay. Somebody
Mercy
says
Mwaura says,
our health. Yes, go on, Esther.
Sweet things about our health. And then Kathy says, if we look at this picture, the man on the island is desperate. I think this is about the previous boat. And
yeah, yeah, sorry, no problem. So sweet things are good, but at the same time, very unhealthy. Okay. Peter Kinuja says some things that we like because they are sweet, like soda, are harmful to our health. So some of the things we like very much are harmful to our health. And children always wonder why it is that bitter things are the ones that we are saying are good for our health. But sweet things like soda we claim are bad. So considering different perspectives. One last one before the alarm goes off. Okay, the alarm has gone off. Somebody has mentioned that sometimes sweet things are good. Yeah, they're very good. We enjoy eating them, but they are harmful to our health. And somebody else says there are two sides of a coin for an issue. There's always the good and the bad side. That's a very good way of looking at it. Thank you, Lucy Karaoke. So we have 3 questions here that I would like you to type out. What does it mean to consider different perspectives? 1, we talked about wealthy but hungry. 2, we talked about good and bad effects of deforestation. And 3, we talked about tasty and healthy. So question 1, were you surprised at seeing different perspectives on this issue, right? Were you surprised at seeing different perspectives, either from your colleagues or from yourself? Number 2, do you think most people are equally aware of the different sides of these issues? And the third question is, should there be more awareness of different perspectives on these issues and why? So can you take about 3 minutes to respond to those questions? And please kindly respond to the questions. These charts are very important. We shall use them at some other time. So kindly just respond either on here or in WhatsApp. So someone says A, yes. C, yes. That Mercy Mora says she was surprised at seeing different perspectives on issues. That yes, there should be more awareness on different perspectives. And then B, she says no. Do you think most people are equally aware of different perspectives? Most people are not. They only look at one side of the coin. Thank you, Mercy. Alice says yes. Yes, for which one, Alice? I think for A. Ruth Wanjiru says yes. Peter Kinuthia for A for yes. B, not all people. Not all people think about different perspectives. Not all people think about different perspectives. Somebody, Michael Meru, says most people are not aware, especially the youth. And I quite agree with you that most people are not aware, particularly the youth. They are not aware of these different perspectives. They have only one-dimensional look at things. So it is quite important that we need to consider different perspectives as we are looking at issues. When you are in class, allow your learners to look at the different perspectives of what they are doing, different perspectives of the topic that you are teaching or of the activity that you are given. Don't give a straight answer, yes or no. Sometimes we give them yes or no, but it's good to consider their different perspectives, all right? When a child draws a ball and puts something on top and you claim that that is not a ball, that is an orange, but you need to consider the learner's different perspectives. Maybe that is how the learner sees that to be a ball. So, considering what you have looked at since morning, what was the most important point? What was the most important point? Type in your chat, what was the most important point? Kindly type in your chat. I know there's our teacher waiting in the other class. The mathematics teacher is waiting. And mathematics teachers don't like wasting time. Okay. Most important point. What is your most important point? I'll take two. First come, first serve. On WhatsApp, Huntington, be on the standby. We only need two. What was the most important thing that you have gathered since morning? So Lois says people need awareness to explore all dimensions. Thank you very much. That we need to let people understand that we need to explore all the different dimensions. Good. The second one, we said first come, first serve. The second one? Good. Oh, now they're flying in. The most important point for me is the role of self-reasoning and different perspectives. And I will take one more, learning more on different perspectives. So it is important, and I think we have all looked at it and enjoyed it, that we need to look at different perspectives. The guy in the boat will want to dive on the land. The guy on the land will want to dive on the boat. But somebody has rightly said, both of them need to look at the different perspectives and see what is happening. So thank you so much. The maths teacher is waiting. Please run quickly to the class, mathematics class.
Welcome to our mathematics class. Today we'll be learning about measurement, and we are going to talk about length. And the competence we'll be addressing in the class is critical thinking and problem solving. And here we'll be looking at considering multiple perspectives. Are you ready to learn with us today? Thank you.
Yes, teacher.
So last lesson, we looked at length, and we said length is a type of measurement. If you remember last time, we are talking about length is how to measure of how long something is. And we were comparing things. Last time we looked for a ruler and another ruler. Can you remember when we talked about these two rulers, which was longer than the other in the last class? Can you share in the chat which was the longer than the other? Between the two, which one is short and which one is long? I'm waiting to see your response in the chat. We did this in our last class, and we identified which one is long, which one is short. I want to see if we can remember. So thank you, Peter. Peter says B is longer, and Kibe says A is shorter. Florence says B is longer. Thank you. So that is what we said. So we said B is long, A is short, and we also found other things. For example, we said a long pencil, a short pencil. Remember, we also looked at a long carrot and a short carrot. So in our lesson today, we will be looking at how we can develop the concept of measurements by working with the measurement. And in this lesson, we are going to identify 3 projects which we can measure. Then we are going to measure the length of 3 projects we have identified. And then we are going to compare the length of the 3 projects, which one is longer, which one is shorter. And then we are going to appreciate the term shorter than and the term longer than. Are you excited?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So for today's lesson, as we are learning, we are going to work individually when we are identifying objects, and we'll also work individually to measure objects. So those are the activities which we'll be doing as we are learning. So to begin with, I want you to listen to this song. I want you to listen to this song, and we can sing along on this song. Remember, we sang it last time. I hope we can sing along.
Chico's rope is 2 feet long. Mario's rope is 4 feet long. So Mario said to Chico, I have got the longer rope, 'cause yours is 2 and mine is 4. So my rope has 2 feet more. We go, hey, yo. Who has got the longer rope? We go, hey, yo. Mario's got the longer rope. Mario's boat is 9 feet long. Chico's boat is 5 feet long. So Chico said to Mario, I have got a shorter boat, 'cause mine's 5 feet and yours is 9, which is 4 feet longer than mine. We go, hey, yo. Who has got the shorter boat? We go, hey, yo. Chico's got the shorter boat. Chico's telescope is 3 feet long. Mario's telescope is 5 feet long. So Mario said to Chico, I have a longer telescope, 'cause mine's 5 feet and yours is 3. So mine is longer by 2 feet. We go, hey, yo. Who has a longer telescope? We go, hey, yo. Mario's got a longer telescope. We go, hey, yo. Who's got a longer guitar?
Okay. Esther, you're saying it's not moving on your side, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's not moving, let me use the live one. Sorry about that, because for mine it was moving, but it's okay. Let me just share again. Sorry about that. So I'm going to play for it. Now let me know if it's moving now.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Chico's rope is 2 feet long. Mario's rope is 4 feet long. So Mario said to Chico, I have got the longer rope, 'cause yours is 2 and mine is 4. So my rope has 2 feet more. We go, hey, yo. Who has got the longer rope? We go, hey, yo. Mario's got the longer rope. Mario's boat is 9 feet long. Chico's boat is 5 feet long. So Chico said to Mario, I have got a shorter boat, 'cause mine's 5 feet and yours is 9, which is 4 feet longer than mine. We go, hey, yo. Who has got the shorter boat? We go, hey, yo. Chico's got the shorter boat. Chico's telescope is 3 feet long. Mario's telescope is 5 feet long. So Mario said to Chico, I have a longer telescope, 'cause mine's 5 feet and yours is 3. So mine is longer by 2 feet. We go, hey, yo. Who has a longer telescope? We go, hey, yo. Mario's got a longer telescope. We go, hey, yo. Who's got a longer guitar?
Thank you for listening. I hope now you know the difference between long and short, longer and shorter. So I hope now you watch that small video and you have been able to identify longer and shorter. Let me jog your memories, children. Looking at the two, what can you say about A and B? Can you type in the chat? What can you say about A and B? Type in the chat your responses. Which one is the longer rope? Let's type in the chat. Which one is the longer rope? Okay, thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Michael. Yes. B is the longer rope. Okay, let me ask, which boat is shorter? Which boat is shorter? Which boat is shorter? Okay, Rachel says Tico's boat is shorter. Let's wait to see others what they are saying. Which boat is shorter? Which boat is shorter? Peter is saying Tico's boat is shorter. One more. Michael is saying Tico's boat. Thank you. Florence is saying Tico's boat. Yes, Tico's boat is shorter. Now, which telescope is longer? Which telescope is longer? The 3 feet or the 5 feet? Which telescope is longer? The 3 feet or the 5 feet? Peter says the 5 feet. Rachel says the 5 feet. Nancy says the 5 feet. Mercy says the 5 feet is longer. Thank you. 5 feet is longer. Finally, which pencil is longer? Which pencil is longer? John is saying A, Rachel A, Florence A, Mercy A is longer. Tabitha says, which pencil is longer? Pencil A is longer. Thank you, Michael. Pencil A is longer. Now, the boy who ate a mango was shorter than the boy who ate the mango was the shorter boy. What was the name of the boy? The boy who ate the mango was the shorter boy. What was the name of the boy? Mercy saying Toto. Thank you, Mercy. Alice saying Tutu. Alice Njuguna, are you sure? Michael says Toto. Okay. Lois says Toto. Good. So this is what we learned last time. And I'm going to now have an individual work for you today. So what I want you to do today, I want you to identify 3 objects where you are. Look around where you are and pick 3 objects. Please make sure you are looking at objects which can't hurt you. Don't pick a knife or a scissor, something safe. So pick 3 objects which are around you. For example, I've picked my 3 objects. Pick any 3 objects which are around you. And once you have picked, tell us in the chat that I've picked 3 objects. Pick 3 objects that are around you. And once you have picked the object, tell us I've picked the 3 objects in the chat. Let us know that you have picked 3 objects in the chat. You can show us, like I've shown you my 3 objects, or you can type. Okay, Ruth Wanjiro says she has picked. John Kibe, I've picked 3 objects. Thank you very much. Rachel says I've picked. Ali says I have. Okay. Now I want you to measure the length of the 3 objects. I want you to measure the length of the 3 objects. Measure the length of the 3 objects. I want you to measure the length of the 3 objects. Measure the length of the three objects. And when you have measured, let us know if you have measured. Measure the length of the three objects. I'm measuring mine too. Measure the length of the three objects. I'm also measuring mine. When you have measured, tell us. Michael Waweru, thank you. He's already measured. Michael has measured. When you have measured, tell us. Then we have, once you have measured, tell us that I have measured. Thank you, Francis. Francis has measured. Michael Waweru has measured. So make sure we measure. And then after measuring, I want you to compare. Compare the length of the object you have measured. Compare the length of the object you have measured. Once you have measured, compare the length of the objects you have measured. Compare, don't give me the measurement, Beth. Compare. Compare what you have measured. Are you able to compare? That's good. Once you have compared, please let me know that you have compared. Yes, Kinuthia, you have compared. Thank you very much. Kinuthia, you have compared. Thank you very much. I like that. Kibe has compared. That is great. And Michael, you have compared. That is great. So I can see we have compared. Alice, you have compared. That is great. Then I'm waiting for some more to see whether they have compared. Lois Mudon, you have compared. That is great. Now that we have compared them, what we are going to look at now, we measured individually and we compared. I'm sure you have been able to appreciate which one is longer than. For example, for me, I use this toothpick and I used my finger. You can see it is 4 finger long. The toothpick box is 4 fingers long. Then I used my pen and my pen was 8 fingers long. And I used my phone was 9 fingers long. So I used my finger to measure. I hope you also use something to measure. And through them, whatever you use to measure, you have been able to appreciate. For me, my phone is longer than my pen. My pen is longer than my toothpick box. Can you write a comparison of 2 things which you have measured sharing with what you have measured? My pen is 4 fingers longer than my toothpick box. Can you write such a sentence comparing the things you have measured? My pen is 4 fingers. My pen, I'm writing mine, is 4 finger widths longer than my toothpick box. Write a sentence showing how you have compared. Write a sentence to tell us how. Yes, my spoon is 5 centimeters longer than my biro. Thank you, Lucy. My remote and my book are both 1.5 pens. Thank you, Florence. My book is 5 centimeters longer than my phone. Thank you very much. My book is 4 centimeters longer than my pencil. Thank you very much. Now, let me ask you, what did you use to measure? I used my fingers. Somebody used a matchstick. Somebody used a ruler. Which answer is correct and why? Okay, thank you very much. So whose answer is correct? The ruler, the fingers, the card holder? Whose answer is correct? Francis is saying all. Mercy is saying all of them are correct. Peter Kinuthia is saying all of them are correct. This is because we were not measuring a length. We were comparing a length of one and another thing. So you can use anything to measure. So you can see that we are having different perspective of the same thing. So let me give you a small activity there in the house. Look at a table and measure the length around the table using your hand length. If your table is a square, go around, measure. If your table is a circle, go around. I want to measure mine too. Let me measure mine and also measure yours. Take your hand, put on your table and find out how many hand lengths is your table. Go around and measure how many hand lengths is your table. And then you type for us, how long is your table, using your hands like that. So let's take a minute to measure that. So Michael Waweru says 5 hands. Thank you, Michael. Francis Mwadi says 16 hands. Lucy says my table is 10 hand spans. And Lucy is using a new word, span. So this is a hand span. What Lucy is saying, a hand span. She's using a word, maybe some of us who don't know that word. Lois is saying 5 hand long. Thank you. Tabitha is saying 7 hand long. So you can see we can be able to compare our table with using our hands. And my table is square, so it is 5.5 hand longs, total 22 hands. Thank you, Peter. So Peter measured 1 and he multiplied by 4 because his table is a square. Remember, we learned about squares. And okay, that is great. So I want you to look at, so today we were looking about shorter than, longer than, and we saw that for you to determine shorter than, longer than, you can use anything to measure, but so long as the same thing you're using to measure one thing is the same thing you use to measure another. For example, when I measure my toothpick is 4 fingers long, and when I measure my pencil is 8 fingers long. So I can say my pencil is longer than my toothpick holder by 4 fingers long. So my pen is longer than my toothpick holder, or my toothpick holder is shorter than. And when you're using longer than, shorter than in length, we said we can use any type, anything to measure. You can use our hands, you can use a card holder, you can use a ruler and have centimeters. But remember, when you are comparing shorter than, longer than, the word than means that you have to have 2 objects. You cannot say this is short on its own. It cannot be short on its own unless you compare it with something else which is longer than it. So something can be shorter than and longer than when you are comparing them with something else. So I want you to trace your pencil or your pen on your paper. Take a book like that, and I want you to take your pen, and I want you to trace it like that. Trace your pen. Trace your pen on a paper like that. So I'll be able to trace my pen. I want you to trace your pen or your paper on a paper, sorry. Trace your pen in a paper. And once you have traced, please tell us I've traced my pen, my pencil, just one of the objects. Trace one of the objects which you had identified on a paper. Once you are done, let me know that you have traced it. Okay, I can see people have traced. Excellent. That is good. So now that you have traced, I want you to draw a line which is longer than you are tracing. Draw a line which is longer than you are tracing. Like I've drawn mine. Draw a line which is longer than you are tracing. I also want you to draw another line which is shorter than you are tracing. Draw another line which is shorter than you are tracing. Have we done that? So mark which line is longer than, you write longer than, and the one which is shorter than, write shorter than. Mark the line which is longer than, and mark the line which is shorter than. Have you done that? Let me know if you are tracing one line which is longer than and one line which is shorter than. And you mark, this is shorter than my tracing. This is longer than my tracing. Rachel has done, Peter Kinuthia has done. Thank you. So what I like you to do is I like you to ask the adult in the house, or your mother or your father, whoever is in the house, to take a picture of what you have drawn, and then they send it to our class page. You know, our grade 3, we have a class page. So your mom or your dad or your guardian, the adult in your house, tell them to take a picture of that, and they send us to class so that we see which work they have done. Don't forget to write your name, but we can tell when your parents sent who has sent. So we are coming to the end of our lesson, but as we finish, don't forget to send the picture of, don't forget to tell your parents to send this picture to us so that we see. So the other homework I want us to do at home, we want you to take a string and you measure all the people at home. And then you create a chart of, use a piece of string and you measure the heights of everybody, and then you can compare. Are you the shortest in the house? Are you taller than somebody? That is what we like you to do at home. Did you enjoy the lesson? Children, did you enjoy the lesson?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
So let me hear, can you write 2 stars, 2 things you like in the lesson and 1 wish? I can see they're saying yes. What did you like about the lesson? We are learning today about shorter than and longer than. And also tell me what thing you didn't like. Please give 2 stars and a wish as we finish the lesson. I can see the headmaster is at the door. Just write 2 things you liked about our lesson and 1 thing which you did not like about the lesson. I'm waiting to see at least 2 so that the lesson can end and we can have, okay, the song, Wish You Come Again in the Afternoon. Thank you, Lois. Good presentation by John Kibe. Thank you. I like the use of available material. It was very interesting introduction of shorter than through a practical activity. Okay, thank you very much, children. Now let the headmaster to come in.
Okay, so we would like us to give feedback. We'd like us to give feedback to that lesson. And as we are doing that, we need to consider 3 things that, just a moment. Moving.
And we have 4 minutes, and we have 3 minutes actually.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So we would like you to design a lesson like that, either a lesson in numeracy or literacy. Decide on the specific strand and the sub-strand. Decide on the learning outcomes. These are the things that we are going to look at. The foundation skills. The core skills in this case will be considering multiple perspectives and the learning experiences. So we would like you to design that lesson. It will be for between grade 1 to grade 4 during break time. And then after break, we will present that lesson. So this is a working break. It's not just break, it's a working break. And that will show, sorry, and that will show us your understanding of the multiple perspective, and it will also show us that you took in what the teacher was presenting during the numeracy lesson. So the lesson should be numeracy or literacy. Decide on the specific strand and the sub-strand, the learning outcome, the foundation skills, the core skills, in this case, considering multiple perspectives, and also the learning experience. And then you'll not describe the lesson, you'll actually teach us like the way the teacher did. So you have 1 hour for break, but it will be a working break. You'll be preparing that lesson. And please, everybody prepare, because we shall select on anyone at random to present the lesson.
Enos, just a clarification. When I asked for feedback when I was in class, people are giving feedback as fellow teachers. Normally in a class, we ask our learners to give a reflection at the end of the lesson. So I saw the way you are giving feedback here, you are already doing the next part, which Enos was asking you. Ideally in a class, when you are closing a class, always save 3 minutes and ask the children, like, what did you feel about the class? What did you like? What is that we can do better? So that way you are involving the learners as they are doing. And for today, after 1 hour, everybody will be given a chance to introduce. Today you are not going to teach a whole lesson. You'll just introduce the lesson, say the learning outcome, and give the learning outcome. That's it. But everybody will present. So when we come back, and also you had agreed that when we come back, everybody will share something.
Okay. That clarification, in fact, it's very important clarification, because when I asked for feedback, I realized that I had already given the feedback as teachers, not as students. Thank you for that clarification. So actually, Dr. Gyoko has clarified that when we come back, everybody will present, but you'll only give the learning out, right? Am I right, Gyoko?
Yeah, you will introduce your lesson to students, which will only
Yeah.
be 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So time is up now. It's 9:30. Thank you very much, Esther. Thank you very much, Enos. That was exciting. I just like our visitor, Kathy, to close the session. Kathy?
Sorry, caught me eating my breakfast.
Yes,
You want me
Kathy.
to close the session, did you say?
Yes.
What do you want me to do, sorry?
Just to say some few words about what you experienced and you close the session.
I think your the presentation of perspectives was really good. I really liked the different pictures that you used and the way that you had people involved right from the beginning with making choices as to which is longer, bigger, and how the perspective comes into that. Also really like the lesson that you showed the teachers as to how to introduce the idea of perspective into a maths lesson. And I think it's really clever that you basically given a lesson to teachers to show them how to use this critical thinking skill. I love the way you get people involved. And I love the fact that we could actually see what you were doing on the screen, but drawing your pencil and all the rest of it. I mean, I really enjoyed the lesson. I'm trying to think to myself how I could include something like this into foundation phase lesson on mathematics and in the curriculum we use. But thank you. I really am enjoying the whole thing. It's been great to be part of this. So thank you very much for having me, and thank you for including me.
Thank you very much. So we are going to say goodbye, 1 hour working break, and then we'll convene. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.